Well, welcome to My Love of Golf podcast. Rocket, we usually fess up when we've had a little technical malfunction. This is technically take two. We only got a couple of minutes in and the interwebs dropped out. So we just decided that we would start again. So we've already had a little bit of a chat. I've already started to wind you up about Biscuit Wars. There's no beer sponsorship or money sponsorship or anything like that. We're just trying to work on a biscuit sponsorship. Matt Mollick has joined in.
Would Matt be my Bryson to me being Brooks?
I thought you guys are mates, but this little his little biscuit planting into Mike and I's world is it's
a bit Bryson-ish.
It's wound you up.
Hasn't wound me up. I find it entertaining.
Okay.
Even Ma Rocket thinks it's a bit of a giggle.
Well, I think Ma Rocket should maybe send some biscuits and Mike can deliver them around to the Mollickers, and there should be a smoking of the biscuit tin and a meeting of the biscuit tin, not a smoking of the biscuit tin, a meeting of the biscuit tins. And I think we could all get on and be happy in Golf Podcast Greatest Biscuit Wars.
Did you like her flex though when she goes, I don't know much about having competing with biscuits, but I go all right with the jams. That photo I posted, I think that was her flex.
Award-winning jams.
Yeah, exactly.
Matt, I think you've just been out-trumped. Jam. If we can get down and cream.
Mike, you've had those Kiss biscuits. That's award-winning jam in those Kiss biscuits.
I have.
Well,
happy to taste more though. I'm happy to do a second tasting. Just absolutely no issues at all.
We've only got a couple of minutes in. We're already off script talking about biscuits. Ma Rocket, I'd love Kiss.
We're on script.
On script. I'd love a Kiss biscuit, Ma Rocket, almost as much as I'd love to get down to Tasmania and give you a big warm Tasmanian hug. One day when I get down there for golf, we will see you down there. But feel free to send up some Kiss biscuits. Rocket, how are you? What's caught your eye this week in the world of golf, Rocket? What's on your radar?
Oh, we're going for the radar. Oh, it's just
whatever it is, whatever we choose to call it. What's got under your skin?
Which bit? What? Brooks selling out? Bryson just being a douchebag?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, about the main two ones, and then I get a highlight with my man Cole. He's probably a few weeks away from being number one in the world.
Congratulations to Colin Morikawa on winning the DP World Championship and the race to Dubai.
The other Korea Cup. Can't really claim Europe's most winning player. Like, it did set a little bit of controversy, not controversy, but set a few people alight. Like he's only played a few times. Wins the Open, gets all the points, turns up and bang bang wins the double. Some people thought it should be just reserved for the more European players. But what do you think about that? Who cares?
Who cares?
Who cares? At least they played off the stick. There's no handicap or anything like that. With the farcical, whatever you want to call it, the Net Club Championship that they play at the end of the season for the PGA Tour, which is it's even a bigger joke. This one, at least you know what it is. It's like, you know what the events are, you know what you have to do. You get into the event, and if you finish top or whatever it is, you score enough points, you win. It's very simple. Off the stick.
Well, and win the thing he did, and he usurped your boy Rory. Rory sort of had a little bit of an end of round implosion, and
Sabatini didn't play in that one.
Well, that's another story. But yeah, Colin did win his final round, and 5 birdies in the last 6 holes or something like that. He was a man on a mission, and we've talked about it a long time ago, and it's not comparing to Tiger, but you've seen the things coming out about where they were at the same period of time, and for me, that's all great.
Oh, that's another thing that gets up my goat. Some of these comparison stuff, like, please, like how boring of a week do you have to have as a writer or an article, paper,
was it Golf Digest, I think it was, that put that out. Like, oh, come on, please. Like, do something original, for goodness sake.
I just go back to the fact that, for a young man, he holds and carries and talks like not many people of his youth, his age, his experience, and he is quickly becoming a very big force on the world of golf, and he'll win many more times. But just you cannot help but respect and appreciate what we've got with Colin Morikawa and the way that he does carry himself on a golf course and across both tours. And he's two-time major winner and plays in the US. What a player! What a winner!
His post-match interviews are on par with his ball striking.
That was good. He spoke about his grandfather, and it actually meant something to him, which is what you want to say when someone wins. That was great.
He got emotional. He said, "I don't get emotional, but I'm going to get emotional." So it was great to see him get emotional.
And he played great golf, and we did exactly what we've been saying. He had a week with the putter, and when Cole has a week with the putter, he wins. Simple as that. He was positive strokes gained 3 of 4 rounds, and he was even on the other. In the final round, he was positive 1.4 strokes. Normally, he's.
Have you got anything there that has shown his rise with the putter? Like he was sketchy there at one stage.
Yeah, I mean,
last year
he sits at he sits below PGA averages, so he still just floats right around it. Like he doesn't get above it. If he does, it's not for long in his career. If you look at the whole way through, since the start of 2021, he's sort of probably been pretty poor through the middle and still had some great results. But he has those results when it goes well.
He just, here's the thing. I reckon he's mentally figured out, or he's been smart enough where they go, don't worry about it if you're having one of those bad weeks. Don't beat yourself up. Just wait for the week that it just clicks.
Yeah.
And just try and make sure they're obviously the big tournaments, but when it clicks, just ride it. You only have to look at the Open Championship. Like, you see him come out in the first 4 holes, and he's just draining them from everywhere. Yep. And you can just see when he's on, like he's on. So you just go, you're not going to beat him. No. You're just not going to beat him because he's going to brain you from tee to green.
Yeah, and since the Tour Championship, every round he's played, he's been positive strokes gained, which is very unlike his career. If he keeps that up, he'll be world number 1 in no time. Because he's just the way his ball striking is, he's picking up a shot and a half every round on the field. So if he can get if he's dropping shots to the field with the putter, he gets back to the square or positive, and the guy's picking up 2 shots on a PGA Tour event on every player. It's pretty impressive.
Rocket, Rory, who we love, we talk about a lot, didn't have the greatest of luck in the last few holes and just probably lost it, if anything. There was the vision, the shots that went around the whole world of him ripping the Nike.
Shirt.
And by the way, I've got the Nike just tall black slim fit polo on here. Well, I think it's slim fit, making me look very slim. Which you can get at Drummer Golf, of course. That's pretty much you can get Nike at Drummer Golf if you want to visit me. Mike's going to come down next week. We might do a little bit of video down there. We're going to do a fitting for Mike. A video, a video.
Nah, yeah, I'll be signing off on any video footage or sending it to my tour manager before they'll be approved for publishing.
Okay, no problems. Fine. Oh, it's a professional setup down there. You're coming into the Franklin Street's biggest fitting studio. So we're going to see Mike down there for a fitting. If you want to come down, Rocket, and join us.
The biggest one in all of Franklin Street.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. Rory, he ripped the Nike polo shirt apart. Probably not the sponsor's dream, seeing that, but maybe it was. But what do you think? Is that a good way of him to sort of break off the frustrations, or, is he close? Are we going to see Rory break through next year to something bigger, better, stronger than, have one of those years that we probably been waiting for?
I don't know. I hope so. Big, and I listened to, I can't remember which one it was, and when they've talked about it, where the best Rory is the Rory that doesn't think, and they talk about him in post-match interviews, and he's actually quite considerate and thoughtful, and so maybe he has to be more and more like DJ, and just be dumb, and that's and because you can see when he tries to have some routine when he comes into a tournament or a major, it's like he puts extra pressure on himself, or I've talked about this before. If he's trying to come in really relaxed and stuff like that, it goes the other way as well. It's almost like he just has to just not give a shit, like actually just go out and just not, almost like completely zero Fs.
Yeah,
because everything else doesn't work, and as I've said before, it's like he's still mentally, the mental side of his game is just not. It's not his forte, so he needs to probably just empty his mind. And then the only other thing is find someone that he can work with to work on. If he fixes how he can do his wedges and stuff like that, then that's the only thing from his game perspective. Everything else is, it's Rory through and through. Just fix your wedges and just clear your mind and just play like DJ.
Yeah, he did what we've said on here before. Like, he just has a habit of throwing in a bad round, and he has a bad habit of doing it when he's in contention and in the final round. I think I sent the message around during the week. Him and Horsfield both have that same issue. They both were the only two that finished top 20 that had a round over par. So if you look at Rory stats versus what we spoke about Morikawa, okay? So Rory in putting, strokes around the green, strokes gained approach, and off the tee, lost on every single one of them in that final round. So he lost 3.5 shots to the field in total strokes gained. That's
you don't win. You can't win doing that.
You cannot do that. No, you can't. You can. And what's, for me, the part that I find probably the most worrying is, normally you would hope that I've had a bad day with the driver, so it's the one thing that I've lost strokes on, and the rest of them are okay. No, it was across the board. Nothing went right.
Yeah, now, that's the unfortunate thing, is that when it falls apart for him, it's everything. It's not one thing; it's everything.
Yeah.
So, what about some of the other results in the DP World Tour final, the race to Dubai? What did we have anything else up there in the tipperoonies, in the tipsters?
I tipped Min Woo, and he had an okay week. I think he looked like a man that was ready to get back home. I talked a little bit about it in the coverage. He hadn't been home in, I think, 9-10 months, and I think he's already back in Perth in quarantine now. So he just sort of plodded along, didn't do anything horrendous, didn't do anything flashy, just did what he had to do.
Is he like almost in the inside? He's a hair off being in the top 50 in the world.
He missed by one. He dropped by one. He went to 51 because Pulton leapfrogged him. So he's got to do something in the next month, or something's got to change for him to skip in.
How funny was that? How funny was his reply to Ann Poulter's message?
I didn't say it.
Oh, it was something along the lines of talking about having a bad day and all these people that are support and give me all this energy.
Yeah.
And Minwoo was just in the background. Yeah. And he goes, "Oh, Ian, I didn't realise you thought about me that way. I'm glad I could help contribute to the energy and bringing you along." It's just fantastic. So good.
He's very good.
He does have a good sense of humour, the young man. He's very crafty with that. Our boy, Bobby Mcintyre. I'm not going to give Bobby Mcintyre top Scott billing, even though he did finish T4. It was great to see him return to a little bit of form. He's been dragging the chain a little bit, and having us pick, the likes of Grant Forrest, who also, well done on getting to the race to Dubai final, finished T16. So, I think Grant would be happy with that. But for me, top Scott billing went to Iona Stephen. I've talked about Iona before, and I think a couple of the young ladies that do a wonderful job on the European Tour commentary, whether it's with Sky Sports or whoever the other broadcasters that they are with. Iona, if you don't know Iona, she's
young Scottish former golf pro, now media commentator. She was the one that handled the ceremonial duties at the presentation. And she would I don't think she's done the ceremonial duties on a tour stage before, on a tour green. I know she's done a lot of public speaking, but I thought she just, in that brief moment, handled herself very well. It was great to see her out there at front. And so top Scott goes to Iona Stephen. Well done to you, Iona. But it was good to see Bobby Mack. Bobby Mack's probably at home in Oban now. Maybe if he's not on holiday, but he's probably up there at up home doing some stuff.
Oh, good finish by him. So hopefully that gives him a little bit of a springboard into 2022. Because, the thing is that we want to see him actually, raise the trophy, or at least if he's in contention, stay in contention and not, throw up on the first 5 holes and disappear.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, we're going to talk about some 2021 awards and maybe 2022 predictions, which we might start circulating, getting some feedback from the listeners and present those in the coming weeks. While we talk about Bobby, before we go into that, do you think that Bobby can win next year?
Where? In Europe?
Yeah.
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 Okay. All right.
I think I've said it before on here. He does remind me a bit of Lucas from 2 years ago. I think he's got that. He's got those massive highs, but when he pops, he pops. And if you could level that out,
he's a double or a triple away from.
Yeah.
He's one shot away from like a 6-hole birdie run.
Yep.
And he's also one shot away from a double cross.
Yeah.
Out of bounds and making a triple.
Yeah. And a lot of them are. And and that's what makes them great. Their highs are so high, like they're unbelievable. If he can just get that piece right, I think he can definitely win.
Okay. Well, who else finished up there? Herbie. Yeah, Herbie didn't have the greatest week by his own admission.
I saw an interview with Herbie. He doesn't have a 5-iron. Doesn't carry a 5-iron.
I think he's got he's a great tinkerer with he's got his own line loft machine, and he is one of the pros that does do that. A lot of the pros don't do their own line lofts, from what I can gather from the ones that I've spoken to about that. But he's definitely got his own line loft machine up there on the Sunshine Coast, and he's always tinkering. So just his combination of the irons that he uses.
He said he wanted an extra wedge, and he's sort of made his 6-iron a little bit stronger, and the gap wasn't too big. And when they played around with things, that's just what worked. But it's funny. Like, I mean, the only person I could think of that had done something a bit similar, like having something a 4 and then no 5, was reminded me of Rich Beam. When Rich Beam won the PGA, he had 2 4-irons in his bag. That's all I could think of that was someone doing something a little bit funny down there.
I can't actually recall the exact specs, but TaylorMade made a set of TW blades. What are they? P7 TWs? To the exact specs, I believe, that Tiger's irons are made. So some of those spec changes, Tiger has some tungsten in certain positions in certain irons for relative to where he strikes them and the way he wants them to swing weight and then perform in his hand. So you can't obviously see the tungsten, but there's some tungsten weighting that are in different positions. So the normal set of irons that might have tungsten weight in the 3, 4, 5, 6, and if they stop at 6 or 7, it'll be in the toe, and it's always in the toe for it. But the Tiger's irons are exactly to hit. But the 3 and the 4-iron, and I could be wrong, but I think the 4-iron has a different length head and a different loft to the 3-iron. So the 3-iron plays lofted wise more like a 4-iron, but because it's longer, he's got 2 very different lofted sort of, as opposed to a normal configuration of a 3 and a 4-iron.
Yeah.
But Tiger does that. He's got all these different shapes and different weights. So
he's okay. He can do what he likes. Let's be honest.
Well, it was great to see him. Not back. Sorry, that's not the right way to say that. But he obviously set the world alight when he showed the pictures of him hitting some balls.
Pip Central.
Sorry?
Pip Central. He's that'll just probably put him right over just before Christmas.
It's true.
That'll earn him an absolute more than a few pig troughs full of cash.
He doesn't need it.
The cynics amongst the golfing Twitterati.
Cynics, it's a fact.
Is it? Do you know that he's in the leading position of the PIP? Do you know?
According to a lot of the articles that have been written,
Right.
there's a possibility of taking out number one.
So
the talk is that it's the people that are getting it was defined before the competition even started, if you want to call it a competition.
Yeah.
Are you saying it's a setup? Oh no.
I know.
The PGA Tour have predetermined something, and they're giving the money to their favourites. They're playing
right before Christmas. You found out as well. It's going to ruin everything.
I better have a bite of a biscuit.
Didn't make Rocket any happier.
It was good to see Tiger. He looks a bit upper body wise looks immense, but obviously for obvious reasons he looks withered.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm eating.
His leg looked a lot thinner. I don't think that compression sock thing did him any favors as well. That made it look a lot thinner than it probably was, but it certainly needs a lot more muscle to come back.
Yeah, he certainly won't be. He might have to do some Phil Quan calves for a while.
What I was excited to see was the Full Swing Golf launch monitor sitting behind him. So that is a new brand of launch monitors. So, in my shop there, I've got the Full Swing Golf simulators.
Mm-hmm.
They're moving into launch monitor technology, compete with TrackMan.
He's an ambassador for Full Swing.
He might actually be a part owner, but he is. That product is released only on his say-so because he wanted it to be absolutely spot on, and it wasn't going to come to market until it was spot on. So the fact that I don't know if it's actually released in the States yet or if it's going to happen in the PGA show in January or whatever, but it looks good.
Probably be out for Black Friday, just 2 days after the video came out.
40% off?
Yeah. Do you reckon that'll be on the high end, like with TrackMan?
No.
You reckon it's going to be down with what's the other one? The Rapsodo?
Rapsodo and the new. There's a new one with Garmin's got one as well now.
Yeah, the Garmin one's like $900. I've seen it, sold it, haven't used it, so I think it's been reasonably well received. There's the FlightScope Mevo Plus, which I have used.
I know you guys rave about the Rapsodo.
Yeah, so the Rapsodo is a Doppler radar launch monitor, and you sit your iPhone on top of that. It's actually not compatible at the moment with Android, but there's a Rapsodo, I believe there's a second one coming, a second generation, and that's going to be the one to have. It's going to have a few more features. It's going to be Android and iPhone compatible, and that sounds like it's going to be pretty good. It gives a nice ball flight traces and does all of that sort of stuff in there. Yeah, launch monitor technology. We should have an episode on that, and when I can get my hands on a few, I can get a FlightScope Mevo Plus. I've actually got my hand on it right now. It's under the desk. But yeah, we should get down onto the range and do that someday.
Yep.
Okay. Before you go to Queensland, Rodney.
Yep. Or you just send me one and I do one from Queensland.
Or we just go to Queensland and do it there.
There you go. Simple.
Okay. Is there room up there for a podcast studio and a couple of beds?
Yeah, there might be.
Okay. I was going to say Mike and I have shared before, but we haven't. We were separate. We didn't share.
No. You were flying drones off the other balcony.
We did. Flew my drone the other day, by the way. I flew it over St Andrews Beach, fully licensed and insured, of course, as a CASA certified drone pilot now. If you'd want me to do any drone stuff, I still learning how to fly it, but I'm certified and insured. But I took it down to St Andrews Beach the other day, and we flew a bit of drone stuff. I might share that a bit later on. Big deal. So, what's next? We talked about Tiger.
Yes.
We talked about the game. You've got the game. So we haven't talked about Brooks and Bryson.
The big match tomorrow, yeah.
The match.
Big one. Very important game.
I can't wait to see it on TV.
Yeah.
No, you won't.
No, we won't watch it here.
Any streams? Any legal streams?
There probably will be. I don't. The honest answer is I don't have any interest in watching it. But if there's social media is a flutter and there's something happening that I want to see, I'm sure if you type it into Twitter and search for video, there'll be someone there.
Excuse my ignorance.
Pretty early.
Who are the other people playing? Who are the teams?
It's just Bryson and Brooks.
There's no football, NFL, basketball.
No, I don't think so. No. Because they're very angry at each other and they want to keep it between themselves.
But apparently they're not angry at each other. But Bryson said the feud is real.
That's it.
So you're thinking that this is all once again, oh no, staged for the pip. Is that what you're saying, Rocket?
No, I legitimately think I don't think Bryson's not wrong. See, but here's the thing: is that Bryson probably thinks it's all a game. Brooks actually doesn't like him, so it's not a game to him. He honestly doesn't like this. I guarantee he does not like this dude. And Bryson's probably just playing it up, thinking it's all, hocking it up for the cameras and the media and stuff like that.
Oh,
and he's just an awkward. You just want to stuff him in a locker. It's as simple as that.
I just don't. Yeah, when you talk about that, it makes me think how awkward the audio is going to be of Bryson trying to just give people a bit of banter while he's trying to play. It's going to be terrible.
It almost makes you want to just try and watch it to that because
2 years ago it was on like CNN news station on Foxtel. It was a very random station, and then last year it wasn't on at all. And I double checked before we came on, and I can't see it on Foxtel at all. I don't know. I don't know they're going to be able to show it. Certainly not on the golf TV app or anything like that.
I don't think we're going to miss anything.
No. But let's play it out for the people that won't get to see it. Let's play it out in our own minds. How's it going to roll? They're playing 12 holes. Then are they going to banter with each other? Are they going to talk to each other? Like,
yeah, because they're going to try. They're going to try, right? They're going to try, and it's going to be. Brooks is probably going to say something that might be a soft ball for Bryson. Bryson is going to alligator hands it, come across like a real tool, and then it'll just go back and forth. Brooks will be quite, I don't know, bland and boring, and Bryson will just be a douche. And the only thing will be entertaining will be Twitter.
Yeah, I know you love Justin Thomas, but his commentary on the one with Tiger and that helped a little bit, just a bit of winding him up and giving him.
Because he was, wasn't he? He was on the course.
Yeah, he
was like the course dude.
Yeah, so if he was there doing that again, that might fire him up a little bit. But I don't know. Be very interesting to watch.
Well, if they were to make this interesting, they almost should just pay like someone like Max Homer and others to just be the on-course dudes that just they're the ones that actually have to give the banter or just basically give them carte blanche to sledge both of the players.
Yeah, that's it.
Walk behind them or walk beside them and just sledge them for 12 holes.
Don't mind the sound of that. Where are they playing? You've got you on the video there. You can see the course. It sits in Las Vegas there. Where are they playing? What's it called? Win? The Win?
The Win, yeah.
Win?
Right off the strip. So,
weren't they going to put a bulldozer through that and build another casino?
I think you're right. I think I've seen it in a video before. It was locked up, and maybe Eric Anders Lang was staying in Las Vegas, and they were going to go and try and break into it and play it.
He broke in, and I think he played maybe one of the holes and got in a bit of strife. I think.
Yeah, with the disc golf guy or the hockey guy, the other
it was
guy.
Something.
Yeah.
That does ring a bell. Yeah.
So it's back. The Win's back.
Yeah, I'm guessing. Yeah, that's when I looked it up. That's where they're playing. Yeah.
Look at it. It's if you see the video, there's a car park, there's several casinos. It's suburbia and a golf course in the quarter mile quadrant or whatever length of space it is, but a golf course in there.
Middle of nowhere, got Las Vegas, and
it's got trees. It's all about reducing the carbon footprint.
Fair enough.
That's it.
Just a beautiful, bright green golf course in the middle of a desert.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that at all.
Waterfalls.
Yep, waterfalls, ponds, lakes. Got trees, though. It's got trees. Just reduce that carbon footprint. Waterfalls,
trees, and lakes. Can you imagine a group of young kids from Cessnock in 1987 turning up in Palm Springs to play golf for a month? And what we saw over there in 1987, golf cart for the first time, golf carts. We had never seen golf carts, let alone paved cart paths. So it was just a Formula One track to us. So
you'd have been like in Mars.
Houses on golf course. At Cessnock we had a jail next to the golf course. There were a few houses down by the 11th that occasionally got some golf balls in them. But these were houses with no fences backing onto the tee and people having barbecues and just another world. So that picture reminds me a little bit of that. Anyway, I digress. What else?
It's like the 13th hole at the St Michael's, the par 5 down the hill with the World War II concrete bunker off to the right that had a family of 6 living in it.
Still, was it I haven't played St Mick's. Was it a converted bunker into a house? Is it?
I don't know what it was, but I remember going down the first time, and when you see the chimney and there's fire going, and then there's clothes hanging in this window, which doesn't have a window, it's just a hole.
Oh, right.
You start to go, what's going on here?
Okay. No, Palm Springs was nothing like that. RSM. What happened to the RSM? Who won that?
Taylor Gooch won.
Taylor Gooch.
Yeah. Back-to-back weeks where we've picked the winner in the wrong week. So that was not ideal. So we picked Taylor last week, didn't back him up this week. So that's okay. It was good. Good to see him win. Played extremely well. In the end, he pretty much brained him. He finished 3 shots clear of Mackenzie Hughes, and he had to shoot 8 under to get that close. Cam Smith, who was one of the picks, top 4, had another very good week, which is always good to see for Cam. Look, it was befitting of a final round of the year, our final tournament of the year. The guy that came in the hottest was probably Scotty Scheffler. I think probably the end of a few very strong weeks and some busy time probably got the most of him, and he sort of petered off and had a pretty ordinary week to finish his season. But they're all tools down now, and they've got the week off for Thanksgiving and back for Tigers tournament. Well, most of the people that played at the RSM won't be there, but Tigers tournament in 2 weeks' time.
Now,
it's Hero Day Turkey Tumbler in Bahamas.
Yes.
So that's the invite. We'll talk about that in a sec, but that invite only. That's invite only, isn't it?
I believe so. Yeah.
Now, talking about nostalgia, I just talked about a group of young golfers going from Cessnock, rural New South Wales in 1987 to Palm Springs. Mike, you've had a little bit of a nostalgic trip yourself the last week. And I noticed that the RSM, the purse was 7.2 million. Now,
Yes.
You posted something the other day. You want to talk us through what you posted and what just caught in relation to what they played for last week, what you posted?
I can, yeah. So my sister is somewhat of the, I should say my dad is very much a hoarder. He's got we as kids, we always said we'd never be able to move because Dad's a Sparky and we've got that much stuff in the garage that we could never get it out of there if we wanted to ever leave. And he's been cleaning up a lot of stuff over the last few months. And for some reason, he found a couple of old Golf Digest and Golf Australia magazine. So I was loving just flicking through them as I went up there the other night and picked them up just because I wanted to have a quick look at them before I threw them away. And I thought it was very funny when we talk about the PIP and all this money coming into golf, because the Callaway commercial for the new irons they were bringing out, which was the new improved Big Bertha irons. Now, this is 1996 ad for Callaway. The first line is, they were good enough for the pros from all 5 tours to win a combined $12 million in prize money in 1995, including 4 money titles on 2 continents. They play for $12 million a week now. And that 12 million won 4 money titles on 2 continents. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable what's happened to the game. And you know what's happened to the game? 3 or 4 pages later, there's a massive article about when this new kid is going to turn pro, Tiger Woods. And there's a 3-page article talking about, when's he going to turn pro, and Jack and Arnie wrapping him up saying that he's going to win more majors than them two. They've won combined. And it's just like, good Lord, he really did change golf.
And just to think, he's according to you, Rocket, he's going to win PGA Tour's very own money pot for
Money trough.
money trough this year.
Yeah, the pig trough.
And hasn't played any golf.
And do you know what? He deserves every cent.
Well,
Every golfer should basically take a stipend out of the money that they earn and, I don't know, pay for his rehab or something, or pay for the fuel for his yacht, because they live a very, very comfortable life thanks to that man.
well, and that's why I sort of let in with that, because, you know, if he does win, and I hope he does win that, not that he needs it, but you're right, for those reasons, the golf, you know, the reason why they play for 7.2 million at the RSM season-ending round, you know, with not the greatest field, is because of him. Is exactly that. The reason why.
Yep.
A lot of things happen in golf now is because of you know, what happened in that article that might just reflect it on just then. So I hope Tiger does win. There you go.
Yep.
And hope he comes back to golf and wins another major. Do you think he can win another major? Probably not, but
Don't. Again,
Didn't think he could win in 2019.
doesn't matter. Don't care.
okay.
He doesn't owe the game anything.
No.
Don't.
It'd be amazing to see. It would be amazing to see. But
It would, but at the same time, there's a part of me that almost feels like I don't want him to come back.
yeah,
I don't.
you'd hate for him to come back and be under what he could be. You know, you don't even want him to come back and be average. You want him to just finish the way he was.
Yeah, it's like 20. If he could do, unless he could do 2018, 2019 Tiger again, don't want to see it. Don't want to know about it. Just be an older statesman. Just go do tailor-made ads. Go play the thingo with your father-son with Charlie.
Yeah.
Go do whatever you want. Just, I don't know, keep collecting the pip every year because you've earned it, and just do whatever. Don't care. Simple as that. The golf world owes him nothing.
If you were
He owes the golf world nothing.
Tiger's advisors, and Tiger came to you and said, you know, what should I do? I'm not going to play golf, but what should I do? I want to keep involved in golf. I want to help, you know, build the game. I want to be part of it. What should I do?
Create a video with one of your sponsors for a product they're about to launch, and especially showing you hit golf shots for the first time since your accident. I reckon something like that.
Well, that's already been done.
Oh, there you go. So they listen to me.
Okay, Rocket, what would you do outside of that? Would you get more involved in the juniors? Would you get more involved in the young pro level talent, college level talent? Would you do anything like that?
He already does that in his own way. He just doesn't talk about it.
Okay.
He's got his own foundation.
Mm-hmm.
He does lots of clinics and stuff like that, which he's been doing from even before he was a professional. Him and his dad were like almost like a roving circus. They were doing clinics when he was an amateur, going from town to town, because he was just, everyone wanted to see him. Like, he would draw bigger crowds than some of the best professionals in the world. And then, so all the younger guys that are on tour, he has a relationship with them. He doesn't talk about it, and he expects them to not talk about it as well, because he just wants to just go about and do his thing. He's happy to share stuff. He's encouraged them, send them a message, banter with them, sledge them, do all that sort of stuff. He does all that sort of stuff. He just doesn't need it to be public. He doesn't. Yeah.
Is it too much to dream about that he might turn to the media?
No chance.
No chance.
Okay.
No, I think exactly what Rocket said. He already does a lot of philanthropic stuff. Like, he's got his stuff with the juniors, which he'll always support. He'll probably do more golf courses because that's just going to fit down what people are going to want him to do. He's certainly never going to play on the Champions Tour. I think, like Rocket said, I think father-son are about as far as he'd ever be interested in doing something with Charlie. And that'd be about it.
Stay fit, hit golf balls in your backyard, play around with your son, play soccer with your daughter.
Yeah.
Watch them grow up. Go diving off your yacht.
And the
fly around in your
tournament-
jet, go to whatever boxing match or MMA, wherever it is, turn up, wave for the crowd, have a few hot dogs.
I mean, Riv's already a big tournament. You know, the LA Open, Nissan Open, what Genesis, what is that, a million different names. So that will just be Tiger's place. So you'll have Jack's, Arnie's, and Tiger's, and that'll be one of the main stops that it already is. He'll be the host. That'll be it.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. There's your forecasts for what's happening for the future for Tiger.
Write it down.
Write it down. The ladies CME group, they had their season at the CME Group Tour Championship. Jin Young Ko. What was so significant about Jin Young Ko and her achievement?
She did what I don't do in 12 months, and she hit 63 greens in reg. Well, not just did she hit 63, she hit the last 63 of the tournament in a row, which is, it's pretty good. That's not too bad.
Not too bad.
Not too bad.
It is. It's robot-like to be able to do that mentally, technically. It's a significant achievement.
I don't know whether you get to a point, because I will never get to a point where I'm having to worry about this. But do you get to, you've got to a point, do you think, where she's thinking, I don't want to think about this anymore? Or do you think she is thinking about it? Or she's just like, I don't even think about it and it's just going to happen?
Not thinking about it. Fairway green, get yourself in a good position, try and make a putt. Fairway green, get yourself in a good position, try and make a putt.
I agree. So that's unbelievable that she can execute it, though.
That's an immense skill in itself. To be able to hold on to that mental capacity for that long, for that many greens, whether she knew it or not, I don't know. But
do you know what? It's actually crazy how simple it is, yet how hard it is to implement. I've kind of done it a couple of times where it was like just hit the fairway, kind of just find the best part of the green and just hit it there. And I think I had 1 week, I had probably one of my best tee to green weeks. I think I only missed. I was missing only 4 around or something like that for a tournament. I had a terrible putting week, but the thing is, though, this goes back to, instead of me having 5 8-footers for birdies and stuff like that, I've got 14 that could be 20 feet and longer, and my expectation of trying to hole heaps of them was too high. So I outsmarted myself on the greens.
Well, I had a round of golf last Friday. Should we talk about the CME? Sorry, we'll talk about our golf because Mike, you played golf and I had a round of golf too. Should we talk about the CME? Jin Young Ko, she won. Did she win the whole shebang-a-lang?
I know she won Player of the Year, and that's a Tour Championship, so she definitely won that as well. I don't know how she finished up in everything else, but I mean they're two pretty big.
I thought she
wins.
finished on top.
That wouldn't. Yeah, she wouldn't shock me at all.
She's won like three times in the last 7 tournaments or something.
Yeah, she's won 3 or 4 tournaments this year at least.
Another example of the women's golf being held at great tournaments. Tiburon, it's a pretty good tournament. Is it a pretty good course, Rocket? Is that one? No good. Doesn't rate on your ratings.
No, it's supposed to, I think it used to be like a really good old classic course.
Yeah. And
the Shark got his jaws around it, and I don't think it's even called. I don't think they've called it even a remodel or even a redesign. I think they've called it a remaster, some wanky term or something like that. And the only I've played enough Shark courses in my life to realise that he's crap, and the only one that I actually ever liked, and I was so surprised, is the Moona course down at the National. I was like, wow, this is actually a really good golf course, because every other golf course I've played of his is complete and utter boring garbage.
Just a shout out to my brother who built the Vintage, Greg Norman medalist course, the Vintage up in the Hunter Valley with Bob Harrison. Just shout out to you. Rocket thinks you could.
Isn't that where the Vintage? I think that was the one that Stuart Appleby won the Australian Open.
No.
He win the Grand? No.
No, they've only ever had one tournament up there, the New South Wales Open a few years ago. But
Was that? Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I'm getting it confused with another one then.
no, the Vintage is just in the Hunter Valley and just outside of Cessnock
it?
where I grew up. Yeah, just in amongst the vines out there, which
Mike, you might be right.
Bob Harrison.
No, I probably am not.
Anyway, now what's her name? Hannah Green. Hannah Green also made some waves, and you made some waves as well, Mike, on the Twitter waves.
I've doubled down on those just before we got on here.
Supporting Hannah Green in her win of the what was it called? That
Aon
season
Challenge.
Aon Challenge.
Aon Risk Reward.
Risk Reward. That's it.
Yeah, the one that runs every week and no one knows what hole it is.
No. And yes, no. I was just surfing the socials, and Steve Flesh, senior Champions Tour player, had mentioned how, in a bit of a mocking way, that Hannah Green hasn't played golf this week and she's getting paid $1 million. And Colin Montgomery commented saying, ridiculous, something like that. And I just replied back to him and said, well, she didn't have to play this week. It's a season-long, prize. Why does it matter whether she played this week or not? And then I doubled down on Colin and said, well, are you just as surprised that last year, I can't remember, maybe it was a Wyndham Rewards or whatever, one of the other ones, not one person that was in the final top 10 of that award played, and they got $2 million on the men's tour. And he didn't really have anything to come back there. So he just said, no, I'm just as surprised, or whatever he replied back with. Steve Flesh wiped me, which is fine. But it's just a bit disappointing. And why I find it disappointing is, I think I sort of broached this just slightly before, Twitter's such a great vehicle for being able to be in contact with people that you just have never been able to talk to, so when I started liking golf, the players outside, the big names like Tiger and everyone else, like a guy that I really love watching play golf, mainly because he won me money, was a guy called Bob Estes, right? And unless you liked golf in the early 2000s and probably late 90s, you don't even know who Bob Estes is, right? Rocket definitely does.
Contender in the 1993 PGA Championship at Inverness.
He was. And he was a bloke that I'd bet every year in the Texas Open, because he's a Texas boy. Him and Justin Leonard would always sort of fight out tournaments down there. So it was one of those ones where I thought, back then, I would have loved to have been able to have a vehicle to send him a message and say, good luck this week or something like that, which Twitter now gives you. But also the downside of Twitter is, and I'm not going to use him as an example, I'll be polite, is that there's a lot of PGA Tour players that have extremely different political views to what I have, or think about the world completely differently to the way that I do.
Because they're in a bubble.
And it's really a bit annoying, because it's like, I really quite like this person because he's an exceptional golfer, and I really, not, I won't say I look up to him, but I idolize some of these people at some points. And then now it's like, I literally have you blocked on Twitter so you don't come into my feed, because I do not want to see the tripe you're dishing up about.
Just put them on mute.
Who you're voting for. Yeah, it's just frustrating. So when Steve Flesh came up, and it didn't come up because I follow him, I don't even know why it came up in my feed. I was really downplaying the fact that Hannah had won it. I was really disappointed, which is why I fired back at him. I just don't think if it was Justin Thomas or anyone else, there would have been a peep. But it was really disappointing, especially for like the stuff that we talked about the other week with how much money the Champions Tour gets. I actually nearly wrote, Rocket, you would have loved this. I nearly wrote back to him, but I didn't. I heard there's a tour that pays people 3 times the amount of money as the women's tour, and they only have to play 3 rounds, not 4. I thought, no, I won't get on that path. I'll just play the sensible straight bat.
All right, if he replies to my message, I'll use that one.
Do it.
No, it's like...
Yeah, it was pretty... Yeah, don't know.
Because when I saw the Tiger thing, I've actually gone to his Hannah Green one and replied, do you have any comment on this?
Yeah.
He hasn't played a shot all year, so I'm looking forward to his response.
Yeah.
But then to go and find that one particular message, I had to scroll through his stuff. I got 7 tweets through, and I'm like, oh, now I get it, because like I saw the ones that he either retweets or his messages, and you go, okay, you're one of those people.
Yeah. It's different.
He's an insurrectionist.
So, Rocket, does that mean you're back on the Twitters?
Yeah.
Definitely back on the Twitters. I've seen him on the Twitters.
I've slung a few turds today. Yeah.
I've seen him on the back streets.
Different handle?
Yeah, that's it. No, same one. Same one.
Same. You haven't changed the handle. You haven't reinvented as.
No.
No.
I am who I am. Yeah,
Okay.
I slung a few today. I don't know. I needed a bit of a release, I think.
Okay. Look out. He's back. Lurking. He's back.
I got to try and control it and stay away from it, so I don't let it suck me down in the vortex of just dribble.
It's funny that Twitter. It's one thing I'm not very good at it. I occasionally flick through it, and things will pop up, but you realize when you don't do it all the time, if you've found something or you want to see something, how hard it is to find, and it's just a different medium for me.
Yeah, and the thing.
But talk to me about a TikTok video. I'm all over that stuff.
It's rubbish.
All yours.
Yeah. Next. The thing with Twitter, it actually can be, if you use it the right way, it actually can be really a good place to find good information. Unfortunately, I have to probably re-review a lot of the people that I follow. So I've got to get away from some of the political stuff. Some of the stuff is really, really good and it's really entertaining, but it's like I can see it just wants to suck me in, and I'm like, I got to stay away from it.
No, I've got into the habit. Like I used to follow a lot of the stuff to keep up with, the COVID thing. Now I've got into the habit of, whenever I do have a COVID tweet that I see that comes into my timeline, I'll go down to the replies, and any reply that I don't agree with, I block that person. And my timeline is absolutely COVID free. It's fantastic. Makes life a lot nicer.
Yeah.
I was going to Twitter. So, what's next? Golf. Mike, you played some golf the other week. What happened? Where'd you play?
I did. Round one of GMGA.
GMGA?
Yeah, Yarra Bend. Look, I didn't score well. I had 25 points, but it's just not far away. I think we started on the back nine, which is not ideal because we had a 105 meter par 3 to kick off, and had an 8-foot birdie putt I didn't make. And then the next hole I had a 7-foot birdie putt I didn't make. And then 2 holes later I had a 12-foot eagle putt that I didn't make. So it's all there. But then when I didn't get the body into the mechanics that I've been working on, didn't work. So it was kind of a bit up and down, and don't get a lot of shots around there. So it was very, very low number of shots. So yeah.
How do you find yourself, in relation to, you trying to work on some swing mechanics with Baden Schaff, former guest of the podcast from Skillist? Do you start thinking about the technical side of it, or do you just try and forget about that and just go with the feel?
It's still the technical, not at the part where I'm unconsciously conscious, or whatever we want to call it. But I'm not. I still have to think about it. The problem came that I had a couple of poor holes, which is fine. That's going to happen. Maybe 1 or 2 shots that compounded to whites, which is always going to happen when you're playing golf. And I think on the back nine, I started to get tired. Just not golf fit yet. Not that it's a tough walk, but just 18 holes of golf. It's probably only the third time I've done it since we came out of lockdown. And just trying to get those swing mechanics right, it just wasn't working. It wasn't bad. Like there was certainly some shots that I hit. I'm like, if I can just get a high percentage of these happening and make a few parts, the handicap's going to come down quickly, which is good. And sorry, I do have one piece of housekeeping, because last week I talked about the GMGA, and for anyone that listened, we talked about a few of the public golf courses around Victoria.
Well received. We've got a few mentions and thanks for just highlighting some of the public golf courses and public access courses. So yeah.
And one of the ones we talked highly of was the Cape Shank course. And I mentioned Daniel Igo that had the 51 points, and how he wasn't really a bandit, but he had 51 points playing Rockets. Rockets like
I had my first hole in one there.
Did you? Well, he had 51 points, but he corrected me on Saturday He said, I didn't have 51, I had 52. So that was the first thing he wanted me to correct. And just to make sure that he's listening, I told him that I'd make sure to clarify that he's not a bandit, because on the weekend he had 22 points at Yarra Bend. So that evens him right up. That's my only housekeeping.
Cape Shank, I just want to say a quick shout out to Melbourne City in striker winger Andrew Naboo, who was down at Cape Shank today.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, he's an emerging golfer. He's part of the Melbourne City golf team. An emerging golfer down there with his brother-in-law.
You should get a Melbourne City golf tournament up against Stu Kerr's Adelaide City. So those boys seem to be playing a bit of golf as well. You could have a golf tournament between the two.
Stu Kerr is the unofficial captain of the Adelaide United FC golf squad, and I'll happily take on the unofficial captain of the Melbourne City golf squad, and I will happily take on Stu Kerr in a Melbourne City FC versus Adelaide FC golf tournament.
Should do it, and then you should. The loser has to wear the other one's jersey for a week or something like that.
I'm not sure how that would go down with my team mates of Melbourne City golf squad, but Stu, if you want to at me about that, yeah, we can make it happen.
Or you could wear it to the next game. You could wear their jersey to your next game against them.
He wouldn't. He wouldn't do it, and I wouldn't do it. So we'd have to think of another more punitive measure, maybe of the fiscal or something nature. But I don't think either of us or any of the boys involved would do that. But that's a good idea. Maybe we could do it virtually. Can we do it virtually? Can we do it? Anyway, we'll think about that. We'll workshop that. Maybe just you, me, Stu, and he can pick another person over there, and we can just take him down.
I'm Western United. I'm a Western United man.
We can. It's still okay. Well, we can't join me then.
No, can't.
Rocket, you're a Melbourne City guy.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
there you go.
Me and you, Rocket, you're out. Right?
I'm out. I'm already on the bench.
Melbourne United take on who do they take on tomorrow down at Geelong?
Western United, I think.
Western United. Yeah, right. Okay. That's Friday night. Sorry. There you go. Okay, so you played some golf. You've resurrected that. I played some golf, and you were talking about how to stay in the zone and how long you stay in the zone relative to Jin Young Ko. 2 rounds on the North course since golf came back for me. The first round, which I publicised my double flub in front of the clubhouse. Same thing happened again, playing with Sam Doherty. Great to see him. He was walking the course, using an electric buggy, which I'd love to have one of those things. Maybe you and I should get an electric buggy, Mike. He's using the motorised buggy, and he was walking the course. Great spirits. We had young Dylan Buckley alongside us. If you want to listen to Dylan Buckley, Dylan Friends, he's on the rise, that young man. He's a very talented young media mogul. Dylan Buckley, not a great golfer, but loves it. I got to the 18th in front of the clubhouse again. Went at the pin, back bunker, short-sided, 6. There you go, 35 points. So all because I stood at that same position going, here I am again.
Yeah, the brain.
Too much thought. But the whole round beforehand, not a thought. Yep. Just enjoy the company, enjoy the view, enjoy the birds, watch Dylan, help him with some rules and all that sort of thing. Anyway, that's golf. I'm sure there's nothing new to anyone. Let's give a little mention to, speaking of golf and golf friends, Dave Pulton. Dave is a very strong supporter of the podcast. He always retweets our efforts. We appreciate him. But we appreciate him for his participation in the longest day, which is coming up in, when are they doing that? December?
It's not far away.
Not far away. I'm just trying to bring up Dave's details here, because he is doing it with another listener, Holmesy, Mark Holmes, who is one of the superintendent staff down at the National. I think he does most of his work at Long Island, but he gets down to the national property as well. So another local boy down to here. So Holmesy and Pultz have teed up for the longest day. Just want to give them a shout out. We'll put the link to their fundraising section in the show notes. You probably know Dave Pulton. If you've listened to the podcast, you probably know Dave Pulton. He is the giveaway king. He's won a lot of giveaways. He involves a lot of brands. He supports them, but he also gets involved in their giveaways, and he wins a lot of the giveaways. So he's a good guy on the Instagram. He's trying to raise $1,000 with Holmesy. if you want to help him with the longest day and his fundraising efforts, in the show notes. And jump in. You've made a nice, generous donation, Mike. I will too. Rod, anything else from you, buddy?
No, Mike was right on the grand. Stuart Appleby, that's where he won.
Is that in Queensland?
Yeah. That was a Norman course that he built.
I reckon that was right. We're talking right when I started really following golf. And I just remember it being a course that I've never played. I think it was a very private golf course.
Yeah, it is.
Still there, yeah.
Built by the Shark, closed day one, sat fenced up for 5 years before some group bought it and rebuilt it again. Maybe the Shark remastered it and then opened it up and it's some private club.
Oh, is that true? It never got off the ground at the start and then sat closed and then reopened.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
Again, early days of, the Japanese investors spending a lot of money, Shark taking a lot of money, probably sending his underlings out there. He's just like Trump, just stuck his logo and just stench all over it and opened one day and closed and stayed closed for 5 years.
Okay. Well, it is a private course up there and popular with a lot of members that like to frequent the place. You hear a lot of people come down to Melbourne that are members at the Grand and somewhere else. So good luck to them. Rocket, anything else on your get off your chest? Anything else you want to? Anything that's come across your desk, the hot desk that you want to advise us on? Young bloods, anything like that?
You mean Brooksy sold out?
Well, did he sell out? He hasn't been taking any club money, sponsors money for a while. He's been just doing his own thing.
He's just realised he's probably had an MRI on his knees and stuff like that and gone, oof. Haven't got much time left.
It's drying up.
I better absolutely cash in as much as I can for the next 5 years while I'm actually slightly relevant. I
think it's got much more to do with the product that he's chosen. It's a great product, the Strixon irons. Yeah, I think he uses the ZX7.
But he's been playing them for 5 years.
Yeah, okay. Well, he's just formalised it. And do
you know what's going to be interesting? To see how he goes with some of these tournaments because he's going to hate all the stuff that he has to do now.
Yeah, I don't think the Strixon marketing team put a heavy load on their athletes. They don't have a lot of athletes. Who have they got?
Hideki would be doing a fair bit of the lifting.
Oh, Hideki. Jeez, they would be throwing so much money at Hideki because they realise that, how many sets of Strixons would be sold
the week after the Masters?
Yeah, exactly. Like orders would be just, oh my God.
Look,
talk about going to the fax machine for your orders.
I have been, I play all the brands. I sample from the menu across all of the flavors. But if there's a flavor, and I'm a bit of a creature of habit, if there's a flavor that I go back to, it's been the Strixon iron. And it's sitting over there, just there. In that bag, the ZX7. I've had the ZX. It wasn't ZX. It was the 7. I've forgotten the name. 716, 714, 718. That sort of thing. I've had every iteration of it, and it's a really good iron. Priced well. Very hard to get at the moment, like a lot of golf product. Just if you are in the market for golf clubs, be prepared to wait. Be prepared to maybe not get exactly what you want. Don't quote me on that, but there's whether it's a grips are in hard to supply. Sorry, different shafts, so very short, different clubs. So get in and get your orders in and get fitted and do all that sort of stuff. But the Strixon stuff's really good, Rocket, and even the woods. The brand gets a little bit forgotten about in terms of the woods, but the woods are great as well. And Hideki and also Shane Lowry, I believe, are using the ZX wood product or the metal product. So it's really good. It'd be interesting to see what happens. Is he going to turn up with a big Strixon staff bag or
no? It's part of the deal.
Part of the deal.
Yeah, the old plain white Nike one's gone.
Okay. Well, good luck to you, Brooks. Mike, I'm looking forward to seeing you on Monday night down there.
I'm looking forward to it. I already have, like I said, it's a full service. I'm expecting it's champagne on arrival, canapes at halftime between 8 irons and 5 irons, and
nice blue cheese on some.
Yep, absolutely, some honey.
Well, you bring all that stuff. I know a bloke who can supply that, and that's you. There might be a what beer? I don't even know what beers we sell in the place. If you had to choose from the your old company CCA, what beer would you choose?
I don't even know what beers they have anymore, to be honest. They've switched around so many times since I was there.
It's all the American ones. They got Coors Light. What else they got? They got a couple other, Boston something.
Might as well drink from my cat's bowl.
Oh, Rodney.
Coors Light.
Rocket.
Are you serious?
Well, I don't drink it. I have to buy it, but I don't drink it, so I don't know what it's like.
You have to buy it. Oh my God.
Well, that's part of these deals that they do with, that will give you a fridge and you've got to fill it up with their product, sponsors.
That'd be
product.
like being forced to go to the shop to buy the knife that someone's going to stab you with.
Belgian white. There's some Belgian white beer.
Yeah, they got.
Actually, some of the Belgian ones are really good.
Yeah, no, it's not it's the wheat beer. I can't remember what it is.
Yeah, that's it. Boston Lager or something like that. Maybe Yenda was also part of that.
I think Yenda was
conglomerate.
In the group. Yeah, they took over that Broom Brewery as well. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Rocket, you're invited to come down if you want Monday night. It'll be exclusive in the fitting centre there, just me and Mike, and you can come down.
I'm assuming you're going to have like proper black curtains across the windows just to keep the paps out while I'm trialing clubs. I don't want any leak of who I've signed to, anything like that.
You've signed a mile off of golf. All of that. Security is booked. It's a Monday night, mate. Yeah, that's it's a Monday night because that's the only night we can get in. It's so packed.
That's it. The market's closed, isn't it, on a Monday? The big market.
Market's closed, so car parking's assured.
Perfect. Tick.
There won't be any interruptions due to COVID protests as there was last Saturday. The whole world saw what happened in Melbourne regarding the COVID protest, the protests against whatever. So Saturday, I'm standing behind the counter, and someone walked past, guys with placards and all that sort of thing, banged on the door. Roscoe! Someone walked past who was going the way to the protest, and nothing against going to the protest. It's freedom of speech. Do what you want. But it was just interesting to see someone walk past and give me a shout out. I don't know who they were. Maybe they were a listener.
There you go.
If they were, hope they're still listening. Rodney shaking.
Rocket wasn't at the protest.
Yeah, he wants to say something, but he's going to refrain. He doesn't want to upset the person that banged on the window and said g'day to me. It was.
All I can say is I think, it's great they're protesting freedom while I was at the pub with my mate having a beer and a Palmer with no mask on.
Yes, we are enjoying it.
And then the very next day when they also had a follow-up protest about freedom, I had 17 kids over at my house for my trio's birthday party.
You should have been protesting freedom if anyone should have been protesting for it. 17 kids.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's really good that they've helped. Their protesting in the streets has helped. It's great.
Gentlemen, I appreciate your time again as we catch up and let everyone else catch up and eavesdrop on our conversations. I look forward to seeing you next week, hopefully. We will put some awards together and we'll start the discussion around the My Love of Golf annual season awards. Someone suggested we should call them the flogs, the favourites of the love of golfers. Any other names, we're happy to be considered. We'll see you next week, eh?
Sounds good.
All right, guys. We'll see you then. Thanks for listening.